For the second time this season, it's been a wet qualifying, and rather surprisingly, or perhaps not surprisingly, it's Jochen Rindt who's taken pole. Tyrrell have struggled so far this season with just 2 points on the board, but the Austrian, a wet weather specialist who was his only other career pole at this very same circuit 2 seasons ago, has netted the front position on the grid. He's joined by 2-time podium finisher this season, Jean-Pierre Beltois, Aston Martin looking strong. Rolf Stommelen, equal on points with Beltois ahead of this race, goes from third, ahead of Gonzalo Rodriguez in the second Aston Martin. Mario Andretti finished second in a Ferrari 1-2 last time out in America. He heads the third row ahead of Jean-Pierre Jabouille, who is comfortably ahead of his Ligier teammate today. Eddie Cheever goes from 7th. He's looking to keep up his point-scoring frequency, and he's joined by the second Tyrrell of Jody Scheckter. Jackie Ickx and Alain Prost complete the top 10. Prost with 2 wins this season in Monaco and Valencia, but a non-score due to McLaren issues in America. Peterson, second in the championship, goes from 11th. He's joined by Tapai, the last wet weather winner, in Bahrain. The championship chase is being conducted by Lotus, and they go from 13th and 14th behind McLaren on the grid, so chase him in the race as well. Reutemann ahead of Jarre, as he is in the championship. Bourdais has been in some good form, I must say, this season, generally beating Jean-Pierre Jabouille, but today is reversed. Bourdais, like his teammate, joined on his grid row by a Ferrari, but much further behind. In Bourdais' case, it is the winner from America, Dan Gurney, who returns to the AIC, racing for Ferrari in place of Chris Amon. The 9th row, unsurprisingly, the very poor Brabham car, Nannini ahead of Pache today, and the back row, Mauro Baldi heads Johnny Servo's Gavan.
Yep, indeed. Back on the broadcast, obviously we missed last weekend, which was a shame because it was obviously the first win for Ferrari in a rather interesting turn of events in the USA, but hopefully no problems here today. But it's going to be a wet race, of course, and that's the interesting
No
thing.
DRS.
Yep, indeed, and some familiar faces back at the top of the grid at the moment with Stommelen. Although, of course, Alfa Romeo quite good last weekend anyway. I mean, complained about, unfortunately, not winning the race in the end because of Ferrari's intervention after the problems with McLaren. But anyway, it's time to get over that. It's round 8, the season of 17. It's the Canadian Grand Prix. Rindt goes from pole position once again after his pole 2 seasons ago here. The 5 lights are ahead of us now. And the Canadian IGP is underway. Rindt remains in first place. Scheckter a few positions up. There's quite a few changes about. Prost is up ahead of Ickx as well. But otherwise, at the front, it's pretty much the same as it was. Stommelen's gone down the positions now. Aston Martin's the second and third, but otherwise, pretty similar.
Yeah, poor start for Stommelen. But aside from that, not much change. Actually, well, Scheckter made positions, as of Jabouille and Andretti. It's McLaren having a bit of an infight, the championship contenders, for the back end of the points. But Scheckter with a great start, up to 6th, a big gainer on the first lap.
Indeed. So, crossing the line, Rindt in the lead, Beltois second, Rodriguez third, battling with Stommelen, Jabouille 5th, and Scheckter 6th. Now down to 7th as Andretti passes him. Jabouille into 3rd place. And now Beltois going for the lead as well. And takes it.
Yeah, very difficult with tyre temperature, I have to say. It's going to be an interesting race with fuel consumption, because it is really looking very difficult to heat the tyres up at this particular circuit in these conditions.
Yeah, indeed, it is very cold here. Of course, we're in the Canadian winter, so rain, which might even be snow actually, but just simulated as rain in this game. You'll be aware of it. It might just be rain anyway, but otherwise it's an interesting start as Jabouille continues to fight with Rodriguez over 3rd place, but it seems to be Beltois and Rindt are exchanging the lead at basically every corner at the moment.
I mean, you just cannot make a position with the stupid wheel-to-wheel racing. You just can't make a position. I mean, Pete and Cheever have basically been side by side for laps, and even with the boost, you just can't get past anybody. It's impossible to make any positions up.
Not ideal at all, but it is, yeah, as I said, what it is. Beltoir then finally managed to maintain the lead over Rint, but obviously not by much, and they've gapped Jabwi behind, but that doesn't really matter, there's no DRS or anything, so he's not going to be in trouble from people behind him. Stomlin, Rodriguez and Jabwi part of that three-car group, and then further behind Peterson is chasing Scheckter with Andretti and Chiba in close pursuit as well.
It's going to be very interesting race. I think we might see a decent number of people run out of fuel. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. Probably the Tyrrells, actually. That'll probably be a good chance of that.
I mean, any attending manager has a good chance of running out of fuel because it is just...
You need to be on
it's going to be very high push.
You have to basically on a very high push, yeah. I mean, Tyrrell at the moment are able to go for high because they'll just run out of fuel if they do that. But they might have to.
I mean, even having been on very high, got no tyre temperatures, and RWB have absolutely nil on neutral, which cannot be changed.
I wonder if this is a day for Aston Martin then. Nothing much to lose in the race at the moment. They're clearing away from Jochen Rindt. Jabwi nowhere near to the top two really at the moment in terms of times. He's about
I mean at this point I'm now with McLaren. I'm in the blue zone in flashing blue with no tyre temperature to speak of.
Indeed. Not been a good start from going from his poor grid position down to 17th, not making any progress.
Yeah.
In 18th. Obviously, the 2 arrows, basically where they are, is Gavan seems to always be the one who's ahead of Baldi in most races, but is out qualified sometimes.
I think he's actually winning the quali head-to-head this season, Gavan, for the first time. But they are a bit irrelevant today, as Jari and Reutemann both coming into the top 10, passing Andretti. So I don't know what Ligier are trying with Jabwi. It looks as though, and Bourdais actually, they are very much, might be.
It might just be some tyre attempt to get to the front of the field and stay there. Scheckter now 5th then, so Rodriguez has dropped back. And Stomlin under pressure from the South African as well.
I mean, Stomlin's so slow. He's nowhere near the front of the field. He's not making any inroads.
Scheckter goes to 4th. I think Alfa Romeo might have dropped the ball at some point on the lap and have now had to go back up a push level because they thought they could risk it.
I don't know, or they are just simply in a position of...
Maybe.
Or they have too much fuel to begin with.
Yeah. I think Tyrrell are probably most likely to run out. They have to be on very high if they want to be competitive. It's just going to have to be that way. Yeah. I don't know how much difference you would have from... going to full wet tyres. I don't think it would make much difference, would it? It would still be very high push level.
Yeah, you'd be slow, you'd have better temps.
I know, the only thing that would help with more rain is, of course, that you can go longer, and then you wouldn't have to be pushed. But the problem is, though, you're just on very high all the time, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and there's a pretty big field spread here. It's looking very good for Tyrrell and very good for Beltoir and Jabwi.
It's looking particularly good for Beltoir, because Beltoir is quicker than Rindt.
Utterly bizarre race.
Yeah, it's very good for Beltoir because he's a couple tenths faster than Rindt. And
Prost is very quick now that he's pitted, pretty much with the exclusive intention of trying to get tyre temperatures.
Indeed.
Has he undercut his teammate? He has. So in one lap, he undercuts Peterson.
Yeah.
And the two McLarens basically got to do... and the arrows are now going on the boost, so that's going to be interesting. But McLaren pretty quickly clearing 2 arrows. The Baldi comes back at the back of the field. This could end up being the battle for the lead because of how much time you're going to make on an undercut if you have the tyre temperatures.
Yeah.
No one follows McLaren into the pits.
Well, it's going to be a problem eventually for McLaren again if they don't go far enough.
Yeah, but with the tyre temperature, the tyre wear as it is, I think they might be all right. All the AI teams, and I'm including RWB in that, so Ferrari, Brabham, RWB, and Arrows, they're all just nowhere for pace because they just don't have the tyre temperature, quite simply. And McLaren just steaming through. Yeah, you basically cannot take it off the maximum push level. If you do that, you pretty much start to lose all tyre temperature immediately. Rindt and Scheckter both in, so double stack for Tyrrell from the front of the field with Beltois following.
Yeah, I think there's less of a
yeah.
loss here with double stack anyway, because the pit lane's quite short.
And it's worked well for Rint and Beltois. They maintain position. Scheckter is not. Scheckter is behind Prost.
Should be quicker though.
Yes, you'd expect so with his slightly younger tyres.
It's probably about as far behind Rint than he was anyway.
Yeah, but this is a bit of a roadblock.
And Beltois was
Gurney
gaining a lot
and
from it
Rimini.
for some reason. Somehow he's managed to gain a massive amount on the stop.
Yeah, he boosted just after he came out the pits, which might be part of it.
Yeah, Schecter's already made past all the cars that he needed to.
Apart from Andretti, but I don't know if he
now
can.
has.
Necessary.
And already has
Yeah.
anyway.
And Prost follows through.
So Jabry's going really long then. He's going to try this.
Yeah, but you can afford to in terms of tyre wear. It's just temperature that's the issue.
Yeah.
Pretty
He must
much.
struggle.
Yeah, Rodriguez has lost out big time by going a lap longer.
Jabry in then.
Yeah, and Stommelen and Jarry. So Bourdais, Reutemann, and Belto's already caught them.
Yeah, but where's
This is a
Jabry?
rather bizarre
Ahead of
race.
Scheckter. This is good for Jabry, I would argue.
Yeah, Jabry's looking all right. It's whether they have the fuel in that Ligier to make it work for him. But Stommelen is ahead of Andretti crucially. Jarry is not.
Anyway,
It's going to be even worse. It's
Is
going to be just
Beltois, then?
as bad if it's going to be just as bad if it dries up in terms of temperatures. So doesn't make a whole lot of difference.
Indeed not. Seems that this part of the race Rin is a bit quicker. I think Beltois has been held up there.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's worse. I mean, I'd rather Beltois won than Rint, but also Beltois is an AI. So I quite... that would also be quite
A
bad.
wet weather specialist in real life, at least in his only win of his career. He was on that day in Monaco in 1972.
Two.
Yeah. The year that they had the very odd pit lane.
Anyway, Jabouille is still ahead of this group. Beltois still leads. The top six.
I
is
think the
really
AI is now
broken
starting
away.
to suffer from the issues that AI do. But usually they're actually alright with the push level.
Stommelen is starting to pull away from the Lotus. So Stommelen has found pace, having not really had it earlier
I don't think it's been a
on.
bad move from McLaren though, because they've cleared a lot of cars that they needed to be ahead of anyway. Now they can
Yeah,
just
they've broken away.
I know. Now they hope they can just keep going longer and stay as far into the race as they can. Really, I guess.
I mean, this is a 10-car race, let's be honest. No, sorry, 12-car race. No
yeah,
one
but the thing is, though, I'm
in
pretty
back
sure of the fact that I don't know if Aston Martin might run out of fuel because they've got their AI, so they use fuel differently.
They've
but
got, they got 3
But I'm
litres
definitely
extra
sure
there.
Tyrrell will run out of fuel, so they're just gonna have to do what they can, be quick enough so that they can deploy their boost at the end and just remain in the points. But I'm almost sure they will run out of fuel at the end of the race. If they want to be competitive, at least. They could back off now, they're just going to have no pace. Anyway, it looks like Jabby's not got the pace he thought he did, at this point at least. He's not making the progress you would expect just yet. That's going to give the other guys in front a chance to just go a bit longer and be on the same stint length, maybe.
Yeah, we're going to see people get lapped in this race, almost certainly.
Yeah.
I don't know why neither... Oh, that'll be why.
As Rent boosts to go to the front, I think that's probably what he should be doing as he's quicker. It's whether now Beltois can keep up with him.
And Scheckter and Jabouille looking quite close now, and it's looking like Schecter's in a better position.
And he boosts to get ahead, but can he stay ahead? I don't think he can. So maybe it's a waste of time doing that, I would say. Just stick behind him. Doesn't look like Rin's got much more pace than Beltois either out in front, although he is gapping, but not much. What if Beltois will react with his boost eventually?
Yeah, I mean, it's very close, but also the guys who ran longer, i.e. Jabby ran longer, but he's not really making good with his tyres.
No,
but
it's the same thing as...
Stommelen,
Yeah, but they're not either, though. They're
Stommelen and the Lotus, who've got a massive offset to McLaren. are lapping at roughly the same lap times.
Yeah.
And maybe they're saving more fuel, and at the end of the race,
well,
they're
I
gonna
guess
come
they'll
in
hope that
good.
there's a drop off eventually, and then they can go even longer. They'll probably just do that anyway. They'll probably just go, yeah, we need to make the offset bigger. Is that Jabby boosting?
No, it's Beltois.
It's Beltois, so he goes back to the front. I don't
sure
think
he
really needs.
happy
I
with
think
that.
Rint's thinking behind the boost was just because he's quicker. He needs to get in front and get a gap, which is a smart idea, really. But the problem is Beltois is quick enough to just use his boost again and get back in front. Yeah, McLaren's dropping off from the top 4, but they're still in there, so they just need to keep going and hope they can go long enough that they can compete on pace.
Yeah, but if you look at the cars ahead, Rint and Scheck's between them of 2 points in the 17th and 18th in the championship. Beltois 7th on 43 points. I think Jabou's got under 30. I think Jabou's got 28 or something, and he's 10th in the championship. Stommelen in 7th is 8th in the championship, tied on points with Beltois. Jarry and Reutemann, who are the people who they actually should be concerned about, and well, they're behind them. So it's McLaren are fine because the people they're actually racing the championship are nowhere near them.
No, Stommen's starting to try and make the progress he needs to. It's about over half a second faster than across last lap. Quickest guy, apart from Beltois in the top 10, I think.
Yeah, Beltois did his boost
and Bourdais. And Bourdais. No, quite a few people actually, because there's Rint as well. He was quickest, wasn't he? 21 for 3.
Tell you who's actually the quickest on track is Andretti and the 2 RWBs. The 3 quickest cars on the circuit right now.
Indeed.
For whatever reason.
Yep. I wonder if Rint will use his boost again eventually. Well, I guess he'll hope he can just...
Oh, God. Oh, thank God.
So McLaren are now probably going to come even back closer to the field, maybe. Well, the front of the field, if they keep...
Well, it's going to be... yeah, I thought for a horrendous moment that their Prost was going to be on the slicks. Unfortunately, he did not suffer that fate, which
the interesting thing is now, what do Tyrrell and Aston Martin do? Do they go longer and then get caught up with the McLarens, or do they...
Yeah.
Do they
Aston Martin... Peterson and Prost were 10 seconds behind Rins and Beltois.
Yeah.
Rins and Beltois are in a race of their own.
Yes, I know.
Really
I meant the risk, though, is that
yeah.
you end up being caught by Stommelen and so, by going too early.
I'll tell you who's rather bizarrely appeared in the frame, having been right at the back earlier on. Nannini is the top AI runner now in 13th, quite comfortably ahead of Pache. Then it's Andretti and Gurney, and Andretti and Gurney are now together, having started 11 places apart on the grid. And the RWBs are charging down at a great rate of pace, far quicker than the rest of the field, as Beltois, who just pitted from the lead, has rejoined right behind Rolf Stommelen. And Alain Prost is arriving at a vast rate of knots on the back of the main pack.
Indeed.
I do feel like there's going to be someone in the top team who makes the mistake of putting...
Dry tyres on, maybe.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Because it would be set, possibly, on no strategy.
It automatically does it, yeah.
Yes, indeed. But you just need to change it before, well, once you make the next stop, just keep changing it. I mean, you can actually just change it for each one. You can go on the advanced strategy on the top of the page and just select it for every stint. But obviously some people don't always do that.
So Scheckter and Jabou's now lead from Beltois and Rins, so the order's reversed, but that's because the other two have made an extra stop. Stommelen, Bourdais and Reutemann stayed out. I don't know if they're trying something or not. But no, Reutemann pits, so Stommelen and Bourdais seem to be trying something. Ligier definitely are trying something. And it'd be very interesting to see if Ligier can pull it off and get their first
Interesting
win,
thing now, of course,
Ferrari.
is that Rint and Beltois are ahead of the guys who have not yet made their second stop. So
Yeah, they're just so fast. I don't know where their pace has come from. They are just exceeding.
yeah, I'm almost sure though that Rint will run out. I'm almost sure Scheckter will as well. So I don't think he can win. But
I mean, if you, the thing is,
unless
from
he has
this position with Scheckter and Rint, you could just easily stick them on neutral, dump the boost, which recharged now, and then try and see it through to the finish from the gap that you generate. But
yeah,
we'll see.
so Jabby's doing
it's
what
very
I expected
hard
he would,
with
which
tyres.
is just keep going longer.
Yeah, and it's the same as Stommelen and Bourdais. That Rint and Beltois are ahead of Stommelen and Bourdais. Scheckter's going to split the McLarens.
Not too
So
bad
that's
from him, but I guess
interesting.
he would hope for better. He probably should have gone a bit longer the first stint, shouldn't he? and try to stay with Jabwi and then just do what Jabwi does, cover both bases, I guess.
Yeah, well, Jabwi is now certainly, in my opinion, going to be behind Ronnie Peterson, but I think...
He won't mind that, though.
No, and I think Lotus will Lotus will have cleared
It means he'll be with Scheckter again, and he'll be quicker.
Stommel and Bourdais actually might be behind Rodriguez.
Although at least Scheckter's now cut down the
there.
offset that Jabwi has to only 1 lap rather than 2. So it's a plus for him, I suppose. Anyway, let's see where Jeb comes out, because this is you blend into the corner and he's ahead. So he's already ahead anyway. But previous stint, Scheckter was quicker until the last few laps, so it's going to be interesting. Seems like Ring can't quite get the gaps that Beltoir was earlier. He's quicker, but he can't get the second or more gap that Beltoir was almost getting over.
The Stommel is behind the Lotus.
Now Beltoir uses an extraordinary amount of boost because the AI boost usage is just stupid. But anyway, we'll ignore that. Yeah, indeed. As Bourdais comes into the pits, so he's late to stop apart from a lot of other cars further down the field for the second. We'll ignore all them though, because they're not really in this race at all. Well, that includes...
Yes, this is going to be a very tough race.
And Gurney now ahead of Andretti, in fact, because he's gone a lap longer and Andretti's fallen back down the field. That's interesting though, isn't it? How that's managed to happen. Anyway. Yeah, this is just almost impossible to manage. There's no increase in the amount of water on the track either. It's been 1.6 millimeters. And it's not the heaviest type of rain though, is it? So it's rather light, although it looks very heavy on the 3D, and that's to blame for the devs really, rather than the game. Well, no, rather than the weather itself. But anyway, so Rin back onto the back of Beltoir again. I wonder if he could get away from Beltoir. He would be so far ahead because he's quicker. It's just because he's not AI. He's got a manager in there, but they're on 1 push level.
Who?
Rint.
Oh right, I thought they were being done properly.
Well, they are being managed properly. They're within their right for the manager.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, but every time he boosts ahead of Beltoir boosts a couple laps later, and Rint's not far enough ahead of it. It can keep him ahead. I think he'd be way quicker if he was out in front. But, eventually, at least. But he can't really do it at the moment. And it's kind of bringing Prost into this as well, because Prost has obviously undercut Scheckter, and despite it being quite a big offset for Scheckter now, it's not really helping him at the moment. He's not much quicker. He was actually quicker the previous stint when he only went a lap longer.
Yeah, well, it swings and roundabouts in performance, I guess, but...
Yep. Indeed. Of course,
Prost is very slowly working his way towards the front of the field.
Yeah, the only issue he's got is that he's... gone so early.
And here goes Scheckter trying to catch up to Prost.
Yep.
But yeah, very, very much not having any temperature in the tyres at present. Not what one would want, and doesn't make it an ideal position.
Not
from
quite
which to
halfway through the race yet, though.
No, indeed not.
But we will be at the end of this lap.
I mean, even on maximum push, you can't keep tyre temperatures.
No, you have to be on fresh tyres, basically.
Yeah, this is
horrendous. But it has actually always been like this at Canada, to be fair. When it's
yes, this has always been the case, but Alfa Romeo are very upset that they're going to run out of fuel, or they claim they're going to run out of fuel.
I think quite a number of cars will, and I think, unfortunately, in the end, it's going to be a rather crapshoot for who wins. Yeah. Maybe except Aston Martin, though. I might guess Beltoir might actually be okay.
Beltoir has a lap and a half extra fuel.
Yeah, and because it's an AI, it's stuck on the push level, and its fuel level stuff is much better than anyone else's, isn't it, really? So I think he might actually be in a pole position to win this, unless...
I think, this is Beltoir's race.
Yeah, unless Rin gets such a gap that his fuel level at the end of the race doesn't make any difference. But he gets to the end of it, but I mean, he is much quicker at this point of the race, but much quicker, in fact, massively quicker, not for seconds, but anyway, yeah. I think Scheckter will rule his first stint, otherwise he might have been already up with Beltoir.
Yeah, Jabwi's now been cost time by meeting the McLarens.
Yeah, this is not good for Jabwi. I think he went a lap too long He should have picked.
So Beltois in. Beltois in now.
Yeah, that's a bit early for him. I suspect Rint and a lot of the others will go much longer now, because Beltois is no longer that much of a threat anymore. Although Rint will have to come in within 2 laps at least, otherwise he'll be quite far behind. Anyway, is that a Ferrari in the background at Rint?
No, I think it's... Oh yeah, no, it is.
It is Andretti, who's in 18th, having made a second stop. But Gurney yet hasn't. That's ideal. So they're doing 3 stops, aren't they? Yeah. Indeed.
I presume you're laughing at the same thing that I am.
Oh, what's happened?
Okay, no. I was looking at the chat.
Oh, right, no, I don't have the chat up. I'm not even on the management, but there we are.
Yes, well...
This is rather ideal, this race. Well, I suppose some ways it is, yeah, but others it's not. Anyway, how far ahead was Rint of people like Prost? Nearly 20 seconds or so.
So Prost is behind Stommelen, who's just emerged from the pits behind the German, the reigning champion. The last 2 champions in the series, actually, Prost and Stommelen, doing battle together. This is going to be very tough to make the flag, I have to say.
Yeah, I think...
Because even from this point, it's, what, 28 laps to go.
I think if you're an AI, you're in a really good position. And look at that.
Yeah,
look at the undercut that's managed to come from Beltois doing what he did. Rint couldn't risk another lap, otherwise he would have been nowhere near Beltois, and it would have been curtains. He would have had to boost. It's sort of bad news for Scheckter as well, because he can't go much longer.
So Jarier is in a better position than the 2 Lotus cars.
Yeah, I forgot about Lotus, because they're on the edge of the top 10. They're not really featuring that. Reuteman's used quite a bit of his boost, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Jarier hasn't. Scheckter
Look, at this point, I'm just going to manage it like a normal race and hope we reach the flag.
Yeah, I think you have to push though. Otherwise, you're not going to be quick. You're going to lose more time.
Oh yeah, but
you're going to lose more time than you are running out of fuel, I would suspect.
Yeah, but it depends when you're on a fuel. Alpha reckon they're a lap short, which means they're definitely not reaching the flag. And honestly, from the position of McLaren, who just had a huge chunk,
been good in this stint.
Having had a huge chunk of points lost in the last race, McLaren, frankly, if they're ahead of Lotus and ahead of Lotus, really the only other championship contending team, that's all that matters for McLaren, is to beat Lotus.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, they're just absolutely nowhere. Anyway, where's Prost going to be relative to Scheckter? Scheckter should be ahead.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the front. So Rint, where he has been basically all race, first, along with Beltois second. I think this might be our first AI win since season 11 Monaco.
Does Mansilla not count?
Was the manager not in, but just stuck on one push level?
At all.
Oh, okay, it would be then.
It would be that race. It was just not on traditional pace merit.
No, but yeah, Monaco would be the traditional pace method, where Sven has won for Bottle Bosses, which was their last win in the championship before they left.
Right, Lotus are now really hunting down McLaren, having gone for that undercut. Jarier looking in quite a good position and very quick. 3 seconds quicker than Peter on the last lap.
Yeah, they're just so far behind, though. They're nearly over half a minute behind the lead.
Yeah, and that is a real lead. Same number of stops.
Yeah. I know, it's...
Bourdais is the one who is causing a few problems.
Yeah. This race always seems longer than it should seem. But, yeah. That's what it is, I suppose.
So Jabouille is going to be in a bit of trouble here, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
ahead of Peterson.
He keeps going too long, I think. I think he should stop on the same lap as he does Scheckter now, rather than trying to go this couple laps longer.
Unless they're trying to do one fewer stop.
Yeah,
because frankly, I don't think anyone has a concept of strategy in this race. I think all the teams are thinking we have no tyre temperature.
Yeah,
we need new tyres.
But at one point, you might as well just chuck it and just see when you can.
I think everyone outside the top 12 is going to be lapped today, because I think Gurney's already been lapped. Oh, sorry, no, Gurney hasn't already been lapped, actually, nor is Andretti. I thought we were close to... But those 3 are going to be lapped. It's Patchy's been lapped already. The other 3 are going to be lapped shortly.
Well, 13th downwards have just got absolutely... They've got the worst pace possible. They've
Yeah,
not even
there was a
made those
brief
first
period
stop.
when Ferrari and RWB were the quickest guys on the circuit, but that point is
I
now
don't really get
past.
how the hell Andretti's fallen behind Dan Gurney by at least 4 seconds. Apart from the 1 lap offset, but I don't know how Andretti fell that far down.
Yeah,
I thought he was in the
nor do
top
I,
10
anyway.
earlier on, but I thought he would stay there, but clearly not today.
Tyre temperatures, afraid.
Yeah,
The
probably.
cause of his problems.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just... There's not much else Tyrrell can do for this race. They just need to keep going.
There's not much anyone can do. I think
Yeah,
Lotus are the team that reckon they have the fuel to push flat to the
yeah,
finish.
but they're so...
L1
Yeah, the issue
can
is,
say-
though, unless you're running out, like, laps before, it's not going to make much difference if you're...
Yeah, but you got to, if you think back to Mexico in season 14, when Lassard came fourth, pretty much because no one finished.
Yeah, he wasn't
He was the
30
only guy
seconds
actually
behind, though. He
fueled.
was only about 10 or so. I don't think he was that far behind.
We finished like half a minute off the win. I do recall that because
Yeah, but to the
Waldy
other
won by
cars, I
that
don't think he was that
second.
far behind.
But we'll have to look at the
Anyway,
recording
Beltoir's
of that
dumped
race.
a mass amount of his boost at some point.
Yeah,
As Rint now
I mean,
comes
yeah.
up to lap more cars that he might have already lapped, I don't know. Because that would only be the
Lotus's cars are too close together. Reuter and Chariot is too close together, I think.
Well, they're always like that, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's costing them time to McLaren. Well, they're not slower than McLaren. They're still on pace with McLaren. So I think Lotus could, certainly with Chariot, stand a good chance of beating McLaren in this race because they're going to pit before them and then they're going to undercut them.
Yeah, potentially. Anyway, here is Rint at the front of the race, lapping again the Ferrari. I don't know if it's Gurney or Andretti this did. It's probably Gurney, isn't it? Since with Nannini.
Yeah, it's Gurney this time.
He's with Nannini. Anyway, to the Lotuses. Their pace is alright, somewhat. It's sticking
7/10 on Peterson on the last lap.
Yeah, it's sticking with the pace at the front, isn't it? That's what it's doing. So they're not losing any more time than they already lost, but the issue is they're going to keep losing it with the undercuts, aren't they?
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting race. I think
Elsewhere.
Jabouille's only going to pit one more.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, the top 3 could risk to keep going long. Well, the top 2 now could keep going longer and just match Jabouille. And do the same thing. Then the issue would be Beltoir, but I don't think it's really going to work for Jabouille because he's too far behind. Got to remember the pit lane's not actually that really long here.
Yeah, the pit lane
you
here
gain a lot. You
is
gain a
about
lot on the
12
exit.
seconds.
Yeah,
It's
you
about
gain
12 seconds.
Yeah, you gain a lot on the exit as well. You can just cut back in. You lose from everyone. Everyone has to take that chicane, don't they? So, well, mimicked chicane. It's not a proper one. But yeah. Anyway, so stops coming in now.
Right.
For a lot of them, it's
Peterson's
gonna
going to have to be
second
careful
last.
here. Yeah. I mean, what do you do? Do you...
I think Rint's
How
going to go
many
an
do I
extra
get?
lap, and then Scheckter will go. Yeah, because he can risk it relative to Beltoir, because he's much further ahead than he was. So he'll now have a 3 lap offset instead.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Peterson with no tyre temperature in the
Actually,
slightest.
Beltoir's not making that much time yet. He's only gained a couple, not even a tenth. He will in the next couple of laps though. Yeah, it's rather interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only car that maybe doesn't need to do more than one stop would, as you say, Jabouille, but I still think he probably is going to. I think he's going to go with the trend of everyone else. And he might struggle if he doesn't go far enough to do just one more stop.
I mean, Bourdais got good pace up behind Prost.
Yeah, we haven't really been focusing a lot. Well, I haven't at least. It's just been a few cars each. It just seems what seems to happen in wet races, though. You don't really see a lot.
Well, this
happen on track.
has seen many great wet races. We saw the one where
Yeah.
in season 19, which ended Revson's championship hopes, but it saw Jose Maria Lopez, the season 12 champion, in his last ever race finish 4th as Gurney won from Panis and Stefan Sarrazin. That was a pretty crucial race in the championship that season.
Indeed, very much so. But yeah.
Yes, I don't. This has been a bizarre race in terms of swings in pace.
Very much so. I would agree there. I don't think even Jabba can go just one more stop.
I think he can.
I think
Because
Jabba
Jabba put it after Peterson, and Peterson's pretty comfortable on one more stop.
I think it would be a struggle still.
Well, with 14 or 15 laps to go, this is going to be a real struggle. 15 laps to go, it's going to be a real struggle to get to the finish.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I think Beltoir's in the best position to win purely because I don't think Tyrrell are going to be all right on petrol.
No.
They're going to run out.
Yeah, I suspect they will. They need at least probably more than 2 laps more, I'd imagine. It'd only be if Beltoir wasn't using his boost and Brent just got away, but the issue is he is. Because it's recharging, and he's continually using it. I suppose what Rink could do is just dump his, but I mean, there's no point, I should have done that earlier.
So Peterson, even though he's gone way longer than Lotus, has not been undercut. So I think Lotus is now fuel saving massively.
Perhaps.
I mean, Beltoir very nearly won in Sakia.
He did.
Back in season 21,
Yeah.
I believe it was. Or was it 20? No, it was 21.
Yeah, ran out of fuel in the last lap. Pretty sure. Was that the race Aslan got a podium?
That was season 20.
Yeah, that was the one before where they got a double podium, wasn't it? With Mancini as well. That was a good season for RWE, but yeah, 21. Who won that race?
Prost. Oh, no,
Oh.
20. 20 was Prost. 21 was... No, it must have been 20 then, because we didn't have it in 21, did we?
Yeah, I was thinking we didn't, but
Yes,
yeah.
no, it was 20. And yeah, Prost won. That was a hectic last lap, but anyway.
Yeah, it was. Indeed. There's... Oh, yeah, the displays on the tyres are a bit... well, anyway, I will ignore all that. Ideal. Anyway, Bourdais finally pits for his last stop. So a few people are probably going to have to go another one, of course, but it won't really matter for the top two, because they're so far ahead, it doesn't really affect them. It's only whether they might run out... It's only whether they might run out of fuel, and then... But they should be...
Prost might actually lose to Bourdais here.
Yeah, potentially, because he'll come back, won't he? Because he's only got... he should be quicker at this part of the race, and...
Because Bourdais just gone for the undercut.
Yeah, indeed.
Indeed.
I wonder if you might risk just trying to go to the end there. Some people, maybe. Because if you do pit again, I mean, maybe you running out of fuel might not matter in the end, if you got enough of a gap.
Oh, so Prost does crucially stay ahead of Bourdais.
I think Scheckter will try at least, because otherwise he's going to be beaten by Jabba.
Reutemann has caught Peterson here.
Yeah.
I have to say that's not something I was expecting to see, but there we are.
Anyway, Beltoir in for his last stop. Will Rint react then?
Has Rint started? No, Rint has started at 55.
Will he try and go to the end?
Oh, this is going to be very interesting. So McLaren, Prost is half a litre short on fuel.
How much fuel has he got?
17 litres.
Oh, yes.
He's half a litre short, and Peterson also is half a litre short.
Oh yeah, well yes. Indeed.
So it is now going to be massive fuel saving time for McLaren.
Yeah, well, what can you do?
basically try and recover half a litre of fuel and rely on the tyres.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just suicide. For your pace.
Yeah, but once again, Lotus are the team that McLaren are racing. In reality.
Yeah, but I think they'll just... Yeah. I'd rather just keep the gap. See if I can make it. Because that's not much difference. You might run out further into the race than you think. You might only run out on the back straight rather than thinking that you'll run out at the start of the last lap. So, being ahead...
So when's Rint's going to pit?
It's whether he will. Because, I mean, he has to try something, otherwise he's going to run out of fuel, isn't he? And he's just going to have no gap.
Yeah, true. Well, we'll see if it works.
I suspect it's too long, though. Because we're basically, quite a number of laps away from the end. That said, it might work relative... The problem is, though, they're going to run out, like, probably over a lap or more before the end of the race. And they're going to have cold tyres. So, I mean, yeah, it's sort of done for them. There's not much you can do about it, but that's what it is. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Scheckter looking good.
Chabwit's got to try something, though. Because he's got boost. He's got pace. Can he do it? Can he win this race? If he boosted up, problem is he's 6 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, I don't think...
No DRS, probably not quicker anyway.
So Rint pits.
Yeah. He sort of just has to anyway, because otherwise his tyres will die.
Should be 5 seconds.
The issue is that he's about to run out of fuel within like a couple of laps, so he's sort of done. I mean, what he could do is go full out assault, but yeah, he's not going to save anything if he just sticks it on the lowest push level.
So how much slower is Prost at 2.5 seconds off the pace? Interesting.
Indeed. So, Till's most prosperous race for a while is going to end up in a double DNF. What a shame for them. Bourdais then. Are we going to have a double Ligier podium? Probably. Most likely, in fact. It's whether Jabwi can get to the back of Beltoir. I don't think he's quick enough, though. Even if he did boost to get onto the back of him. Yeah, I mean, they're about to run out of fuel. Both Tyrrells. They're 2 or more laps away. If they just had a couple of litres extra, they would win this race quite easily. I think even Scheckter could just be second if he tried. Because he would have gone to the end. If he could.
Yeah, it's looking difficult for McLaren to reach this checkered flag. They're going to probably lose points to Lotus in the championship.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. Anyway.
But not as many as if they didn't reach the flag at all.
Yeah, anyway. Let's focus on the front now. What are Ligier going to do? Are they going to try anything? At the moment, no, they're just settling for what's...
Ligier can't really... Ligier don't have a hope in hell against Beltoir. Beltoir's won this race.
Yeah. I suppose maybe, but I mean, if you did boost enough, you could get to the back of him. If you'd done it a bit earlier, they were about 6 seconds behind. Use about half your tank, you're probably only going to be about 2 seconds behind. The problem is now, he's about 7 off, and he's got slower pace because he's on all the tyres. Anyway,
Rent out of fuel then from the lead.
Well, you can't do it. It's just not enough fuel from whoever has set the fuel level.
Not enough fuel on the push level that he needs, no.
So he's going to try. It's not going to be enough, though. It's too early in the bloody lap to use his boost and get to the end. He'll be so slow by the end. He'll just be crawling. There he goes. He dies completely. He'll be out the top 10 quite easily. It's a shame, though, because in real life, he probably could be able to just run out of fuel at that point and get to the end. It would, I suppose, depend on a few things, because it's only about It's more than halfway through the circuit now, but here come all the cars in the top 10. It's a shame, really.
Yeah, Rodriguez might end up with a point here.
Anyway, Beltois crosses the line and wins for Aston Martin as an AI. Jab, we did try something and get.
Aston Martin did join, actually. I didn't mention when they joined.
Yeah.
They did join.
Anyway, Bordeaux third, so it's a double Ligier podium. Lotus fourth and fifth. Sixth is Stoblen, Cross seventh. I was about to say Rint was almost still in the top 10, but it's now out of it. Well, we get to the line, though, probably. Just about. But he won't be in 10th, he'll be in 11th. No, he is 10th.
And so Rint picks up his first point of the season. Scheckter's might cross the line.
I think he'll cross the line. He's just being 12th, which is not really what he deserves out of that race. Neither really for Rint. But anyway,
I think Beltois a deserving winner. It was not as bad as someone else ending up there, but
oh, that's rather harsh to Rint, though. He was good today.
Oh no, I mean it's not like Beltois and Rint and Scheckter ran out of fuel and we got Lotus or Alfa Romeo winning after barely being in the top 10.
Oh yeah, maybe, I suppose so. Stompman's the higher up of this as well.
Yeah, it was on the grid, so.
What a good day for the department.
No, but let's have a look at the championship then, because McLaren's advantage will come down pretty significantly. 10 points for them. Lotus with 22. So, obviously McLaren still lead after their weak result, but the gap has come down. Prost extends his championship lead though. He has 109 points. He leads by 11 points over Peterson with 98. It's 93 for Reutemann, 81 for Jarier, and fifth in the championship now for Beltois, who moves up. He's on 68 points. Depay on 55 after only scoring 1. Stomlin on 51, jumps ahead of Marandretti's on 50. Jabouille and Bordeaux both on 47, the two Ligiers. And that covers the point scorers. And then it's Gurney on 25, Cheever on 20, Nannini 15, Pachi 13, Eamon and X 12, Rodriguez 9, Scheckter 2, Rint 1 off the mark for the season, and Gavin Baldi yet to score.
Yep, indeed. We'll of course be back next weekend for probably a more sane and normal race in Paul Ricard for the French IGP, which will be, after that race, the halfway point of the season. 17 races, of course, this year. Well, sorry, this season. Rather than the usual 16. We'll be back to 16 next season, that is what I'm hearing. But,
yeah.
Until then, it is goodbye.